And as a lawyer, it's not something I'm recommending at all. It's a pod or a school, I'm not sure the definition of enormous turtles. Chip ice off a glacier and put it in your gin and tonic. I'm James Jaffa. I'm the founding partner of the law firm Jaffa Co, and we specialise in two key asset classes. The first being private jets, and the second being super yachts and mega yachts. And we advise the whole spectrum of clients within that industry. So we represent owners when they build or buy. We represent some prestigious custom shipyards. We represent some fabulous UK production luxury yacht manufacturers. We advise banks who lend against super yachts, and most of the industry stakeholders. Our client base is entirely international and hails from all corners of the world. So we've got US clients, Chinese clients, Australians, and the reason they all use London lawyers is that not only is it seen as a very impartial body of law, but it's the oldest and most established body of maritime law in the world, and it's built up over a period of hundreds of years with established case law. That is the reason that the overwhelming majority of maritime transactions are governed by English law. But it's also a product of the fact that a lot of people buying these yachts will have a base or a footprint of some sort in London, whether they own an international business with an office here, or they bank here, or it's simply the hub that they pass through between Eastern Europe and their home and business in the US. There's often a UK connection, and those factors mean that our client base hails from all around the globe. A good example of how the world has changed, we have an American client, a terrific chap, we've known for a few years, and just last week he flew into the UK, and he flew into the UK for important and urgent business purposes. But whilst he was here, he went to view a yacht that he liked, and he went on board unrepresented because his brokerage representatives couldn't travel. He met with the selling principal in person. They spent the day together. They went through a lot of fine detail. He went off and did his business for 48 hours or so, and then on his way back to the airport he stopped back in, and he bought the vessel there and then, and he bought it on the strength of a gentleman's handshake almost. It was a very, very rough and ready contract, and there was no survey, there was no sea trial. And in this case, he had the comfort of knowing that the yacht had just been through a heavy maintenance period, and there's a lot of documentation to show she was a good vessel. But nonetheless, it shows what's happening, which is buyers are so keen, for whatever reason, to spend their money and go yachting, that they're prepared to cut corners isn't the right expression, but take a view on what they're buying, how quickly they're doing it, the detail of due diligence they want to do. And of course, this is not across the board, and as a lawyer, it's not something I'm recommending at all. But nonetheless, our job is to facilitate transactions and protect our client's investment, which we did and do. But a client buying a luxury yacht or a super yacht or a mega yacht, will be a very sophisticated client. They'll be successful, they'll run a business. The portion of their wealth that they're spending on an expensive yacht is very small. And if they say, look, James, I hear what you're telling me, I get your advice, but actually I still just want to put my money down and take the keys and walk away, you can't dissuade them from doing that. And your job is to advise, but to follow their lead. And in this case, that's exactly what happened. And the reason I'm giving you this case analysis scenario is it shows what's happening in the market at the moment, which is it's a seller's market and buyers are very, very keen. And the reason they're so keen is similar to the reason I gave in the previous video for Citywealth about private aviation, about protecting your family and loved ones and being able to go and enjoy life and go on a holiday, which effectively is all we sell with super yachts. Fantastically opulent, exclusive, ring-fenced holiday environments. And super yachts give you that ability to do just that in this difficult world of infections and COVID-19. You can go on board in a perfectly secure environment that you control for a week, 2 weeks, a month, depending on the size of the yacht, 6 months or a year. I mean, you can decamp your family and loved ones to a big yacht and you can exist on it perfectly happily. And we've got plenty of examples of clients who did just that. When COVID-19 lockdown occurred in Europe, there were clients that managed to escape it by traveling in private aviation legitimately and allowed to travel and fly abroad to a country that wasn't locked down, step on board a fabulous super yacht and spend 3-4 months on board. And it was amazing and still does amaze me. I love going out to see clients on their yachts, and we're fortunate that we get invited on a fairly regular basis. So I've been on board a client's 140-metre yacht, which is one of the biggest in the world, in Turkey, and I was sitting on the stern minding my own business, and a pod, if it's a pod or a school, I'm not sure the definition of enormous turtles the size of that conference table swam past within, I don't know, 10 or 15 feet of me. And it was an amazing example of the experiences that you get with these yachts. And if I was fortunate enough to own a super yacht, sitting in the Mediterranean off Saint-Tropez is fantastic, I'm sure. And there is a lot of fun to be had doing that kind of thing. But what is becoming increasingly appealing and chosen by owners is to go further afield. So build an ice-class capable yacht and go to the Antarctic or the Arctic Circle. Chip ice off a glacier and put it in your gin and tonic while sitting in your jacuzzi with nobody within, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of miles. And that has to be something that, I was going to say money can't buy, but clearly money does buy it. But it's something so extraordinary that it's not to be underestimated. Etiquette issues that I'm aware of. And as I said on the previous video for jets, it's very much like going into a friend's home. So you follow the lead and example of your host, you're respectful, and you're going into somebody's floating villa. The one piece of etiquette that is almost universal is we take our shoes off on yachts. So in most videos, you'll see everybody on board in bare feet, or yacht-specific shoes. So crew might wear deck plimsolls, for example, but generally the overwhelming piece of etiquette is you take your shoes off when you go on board, which is quite strange to people who don't spend time on yachts. Other than that, it's about being a polite guest in a very exclusive environment.